my live broadcast for beautiful and interesting chords. I'm Andy Schiller from Beyond Guitar, and here we go. We're going to study some beautiful and interesting chords, and I've got the chords here on the screen for us to practice. Okay, the reason I picked these chords is because you can kind of hold your fingers in the same shape the whole time, so you don't have to move around very much. And it sounds really cool. Okay, here we go. First chord, B minor with a flat 6. Okay, the flat 6 adds a lot of dissonance to the chord. Here's the sound of the chord. There's 2 open strings in this chord. The 3rd string is an open string. The 1st string is an open string. The other notes have the fingers. And this is exactly what the chord looks like. Okay, B minor 6. Let's pick some kind of rhythm or some kind of pattern. Okay, so most rock songs out there in the world are 4/4. In other words, you would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but that's so predictable, and I'm not going to play like Dream Theater or Yes or come up with like 7/16 or some crazy odd number. But let's just be a little bit different than 4/4, okay? Let's use 6/8. That's pretty popular. 6/8. 1, 2, 3. We'll play the first 3 lowest notes of the chord. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll play the 3 highest notes of the chord. 1, 2, 3. In other words, I'm playing string 5, string 4, and string 3. Then I'm playing string 1, string 2, and string 3. And so that's a 6-note pattern, all right? That uses a pick, it's going to sound just the same. There we go. We have our first chord. Okay, second chord. All you have to do is remove your pointer finger, take finger 1 off the string. Bam, you've got the next chord. A minor. It's an A minor 7 chord. It has this added 6th note. And it also has the 4th or 11th. Okay, and since it doesn't contain a 3rd, I call it a sus chord. But it could also be A minor 6 with a added 4 or add 11. Let's not get too technical into the music theory. Let's just play the song. Okay, again, it's the same chord you did, but with a different bass note. Okay, so make sure that the audience can hear that bass note. There we go. Okay, keep going. Next one, G major 7. Okay, it says on there G major 13. Okay, well there's a 6th in there. Okay, the upper notes of the chord just stay the same all the time. So there's some upper notes in the chord that are just there all the time. Every chord has an open E at the top, and that's fine. Otherwise, it's just a G major 7 chord. Ooh, but notice the X in this chord. The 5th string is muted out. You don't want that 5th string to be ringing, because then you'll have some terrible dissonance, okay? So make sure that the 5th string is muted, and so if you accidentally hit it, it doesn't ring out. So on this chord, I'm playing string 6, string 4, and string 3. Then 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, and then here's the final chord. I just take my index finger off. Okay, you'll see on the chord chart where it says E minor 9 that I'm actually putting my first finger on 2nd fret, 5th string to fill out the chord. I'm only putting this note down just in case I accidentally play that string. That is the correct note to fit the chord. But you know, I'm not even going to play the 5th string. I might as well just X it out on the chart because I'm not going to play the 5th string at all. I'm going to play string 6 and string 4 and string 3 and then 1, 2, 3. I didn't even touch string 5. So that note's out of the equation. Okay, we've discovered all 4 chords. I think you've discovered that the upper notes, the top notes, they just stay the same on every chord. They never change. Okay, it's only the bass that's changing. At first it's B, then it's A, then it's G, then it's E. And bam, we're back to B again. Okay, so B, A, G, and then E. Practice your bass notes. You know, make sure you know your bass notes there. All right, let's keep going. Let's play the whole thing all the way through. 1, 2, ready, go. Strummer and you want to strum the chords, you can. Just make sure you strike that bass note. I'm going to suggest that you really pound on that bass note with your pick, like this. Placing my 2nd fret note on the 5th string when I play E minor 9, because this time I will play all the strings since I'm strumming. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to end the song on just a basic B minor, that might sound even more solid than the B minor with the flat 6, which is always going to be a little bit dissonant. Okay, what can I do with this? All right, so I can change the rhythm. Now let's see how it sounds on electric guitar. We're going to play the exact same chords. All right, but here's a thought. If you haven't practiced this yet, you should. Try tuning your guitar down a half a step. There's a lot of famous bands out there in the world that tune down a half step. Some bands tune down a whole step. Some bands tune down even further. When I was in a band called Climb, we tuned down a half step, and then we tune the low string to drop D. All right, so it's actually drop D flat, right? So that's actually where I'm at right now. Right now, I'm in drop D flat. Okay, so I have this low D, and then A, D, G, B, E, everything's down a half step. So drop D tuning plus everything down a half step. Uh-oh, if I'm in drop D tuning, what does that mean for these chords though? Let's see. B minor, play the same. A minor, play the same. G, uh-oh, the low string's tuned differently, isn't it? So I'm gonna have to change this note by 2 frets. Okay, and then the last chord's E minor, and it calls for an open E. But again, I'll have to change that by 2 frets. If I want to stay in drop tuning, I have to change those 2 notes. All right, so here's the sound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's try it with a couple different sounds. Here's more of a clean sound with some echo. Now here it is with the most simple power chord. Good play. Okay, let's check out a recording of how this one sounds, if maybe it had some drums and bass added in there. All right, so check out this recording. Here it goes. Okay, since it's in B minor, you can think of your own solo. Okay, B minor, A, G, E. Okay, and then right there it's going to go to a change. All right, what would you suggest for the change? How do you think of riff B, or how do you think of the bridge, or how do you think of the chorus, or how do you think of where's the song going to go? Okay, I usually use relative major and relative minor, okay? This song is in B minor. Okay, so that means I can go to the relative major. That'd be D. Since I'm in drop D tuning, going to D major is going to sound amazing. All right, so let's see what happens on our recording. D, so I go to D major, just hold it. F sharp minor, and A7. The So this is D major. Okay, then we're back to the riff, okay? Thank you. Good night. Okay, I'm glad that you were able to jam along on that recording. Okay, so again, basically, I'm just playing the chords on the screen, and I'm going, I'm having a lot of palm muting. I'm going. On that particular example, I played string 5, and string 4, and string 3, and then I played string 2, and string 3, and string 4. Okay, so that pattern was a little different because I didn't play string 1. If I play string 1, you know, I might interfere with the lead instruments, or I might interfere with the singer if there is one. I might interfere with some of the higher pitched instruments. So if I stick with just the lowest tones of the chord, I stay out of the way of other instruments, okay? So the lower you keep your tones, the more into the background you're fading, all right? So I'll stick out if I start striking too many high notes, and so I'm not playing string 1. Okay, cool. I hope you thought that this video was helpful, and I hope that you use those chords to create your own music. And if you want to download this track, I'll put the link down below. So thanks for checking it out. Be sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, everybody. Bye-bye.